What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's your boy, Coach Jay here.
Hey, y'all. Coach Shabaka here.
Welcome back to another episode, guys, with Love and Marriage Unfiltered. You're in for a treat today. We're going to be talking about something super juicy, but very important. I'm going to let the wifey drop and let you guys know what we're talking about today.
Yeah, so listen, today we're going to talk about the Great Divide. You might be wondering, what is that?
Great divide. I like that.
Communication.
Big C.
Listen,
The
communication,
big C.
we say, is it men are from Mars and women are from Venus or whatever? I don't know which way
Yeah.
it's said, but communication. We communicate so differently. So I think we need to dive in, and we're going to let y'all in a little bit with like us in our early years of marriage and communication bloopers.
Ooh.
I wouldn't want to rewatch that footage.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. Yeah.
So let's jump in. So I think early in the marriage, right? And I gotta see what he feels.
Okay.
I feel like early in the marriage, when we would communicate, we would be on like polar opposites of.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Absolutely.
He ain't let me get my sentence out.
You ain't have to get it out. I know exactly where you're going.
Okay, first of all, so it would be, ladies, and let me know if this resonates with you. I wanted to talk, and I think we alluded to this. We kind of told y'all a little bit about us, but today we said let's dive in deeper. Let's go deeper when it comes to communication, because like a lot of marriages and relationships do not make it because of communication and just the ability to get on the same page. And so this was like a huge thing for us. I feel like I'm a really good communicator, but I think in the beginning of the marriage, I might have been almost too good of a communicator.
Well,
and so
tell people what that means.
Let me just say, I'm going to say what I mean. Okay. My husband felt like I was trying to teach him. Right. And so like I would, I would be cool, calm, and collective. But, he felt like I was in a teaching mode. And I struggled.
Yeah.
I really did struggle to understand like what that meant. Like how much I'm calm. I'm not fussing. I'm not yelling. I'm not saying some of the words that I really want to say. Y'all know what I mean. Like I had to keep it holy. Want to say some stuff sometime, But like, tell me, because this could help someone else.
Yeah,
I'm nervous though.
Sure.
What when you would say that I was, because the hardest thing for me was to understand it. So I felt like I couldn't fix it because I really didn't know. Because you would give me examples. You like, you trying to teach me? Okay, what does that even mean?
So, right? Wow, let's go back.
Yeah, I think this is good that you got to go back. That it's not fresh.
Yeah,
in your mind.
It's not.
This means I've been doing
we moved past that. We moved past that. I've had to grow.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about too. Like,
I think how you went about it. I think the content or the context around the thing that you were trying to maybe enlighten me on, inform me, right? I just think the disposition, how you went about it. I think your tonality. It's almost like he was trying.
I thought he had to go far back to remember. This is like it's fresh. Are you over it?
Oh yeah, we are.
Okay.
Yeah. We definitely in a good place.
Okay.
We're in a good place. I think it was just your whole tone, your energy. It felt like that you was trying to teach me the best way to deal with the situation, as if I didn't already know, right?
But did you know?
Yeah. So sometimes you was valid at your point.
Okay.
But I think that, and sometimes your suggestion was right on. But you know how they say sometimes it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. So a lot of times your point you was trying to make, or the information you was giving me, or the suggestion was right on, but it's almost like, all right, so you in teaching mode now, like, and that's how I perceived it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's very important for you, at me being the receiver of the message, right? You're the sender. Like, it's very important. Like, it's not your truth, it's my truth, because I'm receiving what you're telling me.
Yeah, I feel like he going back.
Yeah, I'm the receiver. So
we might after this, we might have to like have some deeper conversation.
The
Make sure
sender,
he's okay.
the sender needs to be aware of how the receiver is receiving the message. It's very
I
important.
think you made me aware.
It's very important. So
I was aware, y'all.
yeah. So it's just like, hey, you can inform me, you can communicate with me without making it feel like you here and I'm here. And not so much you made me feel like you belittling me, like you're talking to one of your son, like you talking to a son. Not so much in a disrespectful way like that, but it just
Yeah, 'cause
seemed
my
like
words,
you
I
was
couldn't-
always
I
in
wasn't.
teaching mode. Like you like when did you so we're going back, right? I'm not
Y'all, he know.
when
I didn't know he
when
wasn't good.
did you get to the point when you
I didn't know he wasn't
when did
good.
you get to the point when you arrived like you already knew this, and as if we wasn't growing together in terms of us learning, just because we've been exposed to new situations, right? Because we was newly in our marriage, and it's like, well, I'm learning just as like the same way you're learning. And although it may be certain situations where you may have more experience and knowledge in this particular situation, which
Okay.
I'm open to receive that. But it just came across like you was in teaching mode. So that's how we're receiving it. And the fruit of that is the fact that a lot of times, sometimes I would reject what you was trying to send me.
A
Right.
lot of times.
And then sometimes it's just, sometimes I wasn't even aware of it. It just subconsciously, I would listen to you, but it was just like the words was bouncing off a brick wall because it's like, all right, yeah, I got it. I hear you.
Okay.
So that's where we were, right? And
I'm trying to make sure that's where we were, because it's like,
yeah, no, we're good. We're good.
okay.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, perception. Okay.
But no, it's we've had to grow from that, and
Yes,
I
yes.
think once I communicated with it, it didn't fix itself overnight. I think just by giving you certain examples, by pointing out, because a lot of the one thing that I did wrong,
Okay,
that I
go
was
ahead.
doing wrong, is that I will let it build up. Right, I wouldn't address the situation in the moment, and I would just let it build up. And after two, three times, then I would be frustrated. And, I would communicate with you and I would forget about the other examples sometimes. It's like, well, give me an example of what I'm doing. I'm like, well, I can't recall what you did a couple weeks ago, but it irritates
Well, I just felt like, honestly, the way I felt at the time, I never got an example from you, because it's like, I want to fix it.
I got it.
I want to understand what I'm doing, but you wouldn't give me.
I give you some examples.
Most of the time, you were like, I don't know. I'll tell you when. I'll tell you when it happens again. Like, that's what you would do. So I'm like, well, how am I gonna grow and like get better
Yeah.
if I don't, because like, you know how I am. This is really what I think it was, y'all. So this is what it was, because we
Doesn't mean
talked at the last episode. No, don't let me.
doesn't mean it's truthful, but I mean, that's speak your piece. No, I'm listening. Let me give my wife the opportunity to speak. Go ahead, babe. I'm listening to you.
Thank you, husband.
Yes.
So what I was gonna say is just like, so in the last episode we talked about like women being like assertive, or being in, these high level positions or whatever, or being in male dominated atmosphere. So for me, my job was a lot of conflict resolution. Like, that's what I did. Like, as a director, I'm leading large groups of people. It's heavily male dominated, but I had to resolve conflict all the time. And so for me, I think it would bother you, one, because I would be calm for the most part. I'm calm and then I'm talking. Don't say I wasn't calm.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
I saw that face.
I'm
Like,
listening.
because I think it would get on your nerves, because I was extremely calm, because I would handle it like I was handling work. And that's kind of where I'm going. You felt like the one thing I finally started to understand, you were like, well, you're not at work.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I'm like,
like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I'm calm, cool, collective. Now I'm addressing you like I would address a situation at work, versus like, you're my husband and I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's what helped me understand a little bit of how I needed to shift was, okay, try to like turn off.
You was giving me that work mode vibe,
right? Like,
because you had to like redirect, teach.
I mean, that's just where I was most of the day. It's just kind of like,
when you come home and give me that energy, I can feel it. And it's just like, not at work. You can take that hat off. You're the wife. You're the mom. Doesn't mean that you didn't have a voice. Doesn't mean that you didn't get respect around the house. It's just
But it took me time figuring it out though, because it wasn't like you
not at
just
work.
dropped this and I just knew like, oh, okay, I'm acting like I didn't know what it was. And
No,
so I feel like in
you're
our
right.
marriage, we both have been open to fix whatever the issue is. But I think like this is another thing, like for you all, like as you're watching this, like we have to be able to identify like what it is
Yeah,
that the other person is doing
yeah,
versus giving this like blanketed, you're making me feel like this. Well, what am I doing to make you feel like that? Well, I don't know, but I'm trying to put my finger on it. And so if nobody has a finger on it, it's going to take you a little longer, to arrive to the destination, especially if both people are willing
yeah.
to work on it. And so I'll take that, like, so I feel like I had to make the adjustments. So now,
Yeah, now, now.
so let's come on your side of things a little bit, right? And
Okay.
so I feel, I feel like some of it was just like ego. That's how I felt. Like, so like in the beginning, if I'm addressing something, so we say, well, most of it is right. I'm thinking my tone is good. I'm not disrespecting my husband.
I said
I
most.
felt you said some or
Some okay.
okay.
Oh no, she said most. I don't know. If I was go as far as saying
Okay, well,
most.
I'm saying most.
No, but
I'm
you,
saying most.
but
But if you really
you
think
had you had
about,
you had some valid points. It's just the way you went about it. I think
but
we had to point the issue. We had to
but let me get to my because now like I'm on my part. I want to
okay.
see if you can own like
Okay, let's see.
your
I don't
stuff.
know. I may not. I may not.
Let's see. I hope you do.
I must.
Like the people are learning. We
Yeah,
learning
I may not.
together. So
We had to
but I
circle
feel
back. You know.
we might have to circle back after this, y'all. But
I'm just.
we all right.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but I feel like what I felt like your lens,
Okay.
like the filter that you were seeing and receiving through, was kind of like
Ego. Had a little
ego, and
ego.
you already were like in a defensive mode. Maybe it's just like, okay, whatever she's gonna say, I'm doing something wrong, or like you were already on the defensive when I would come in and like, women, we say these words. I need to talk. I need to talk to you, or I need, and so I felt like a wall would go up, and then from that point, I don't know if it even would matter what I said, and because I didn't feel heard, I kept going and kept going, and then
Well,
we kind of went off the cliff.
there's times like that. I think you use the word trigger, right? So I think
I
there,
didn't say trigger,
like, well,
but it's true. But I guess
okay, I guess in my head, I'm thinking you
he
trigger.
telling me I use the word.
I
See,
guess I'm thinking, yeah, you there's some trigger words there.
okay,
So I guess what popped in my head just now was
but that's fair.
trigger
That's a good
because when
word.
you say,
I
hey,
think that's fair.
we need to talk, right? So for me, right, it triggered me. Like, hold on, we need to talk. Okay, so like,
Here
all
we
right,
go
so here
again.
we go, right? So here we go again, right? So I receive that. I can say that maybe it was some ego, maybe it was some offense there, defense, if you will. Like all right, so here we go again, and there was a shield that pops up where like, all right, so what is she
Mm-hmm.
about to try to hit me with now? You know what I mean? So versus taking the position of seek to understand, I was on defensive mode, right? Like, all
Mm-hmm.
right, so here we go again. She's going to try to teach me some, or and not so much really just thinking like that, but just subconsciously, right? I had a shield up, right? Like I was in defense mode, and I wasn't really hearing your heart. I was listening to your words, but not really hearing your heart. Like where you actually really coming from, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you was coming from a loving place, right? You were coming from a loving place, but I didn't receive it because what I heard is that my wife is trying to teach me as though she knows better than me. Now, although it was some things where maybe used a little bit more knowledge, or it wasn't even about just teaching or passing knowledge that I did not know. It was just something maybe I wasn't aware of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it took a while for me to understand that. First of all, you was coming from a loving place, right? Right?
Okay, all right.
Coming
We
from a
still
loving
good,
place.
y'all.
Coming
We
from a
still
loving
good.
place, you know what I mean? And then two, I had to understand that I had to give you some grace because it wasn't easy for you always to turn off that light switch. It wasn't easy for you to take off that work that work hat and then put on wifey and husband. I mean, wifey and mommy, specifically wifey hat. You know what I mean? So,
And I think for me, when I came home, I felt like I was still working. So I would come in and it's like,
but you
okay.
actually you were like work. You would bring work home, and it's just the type of work.
But I'm saying no, working in the house. So I go from
Gotcha.
that type of work, then I
Okay.
come home, and then like my mind is okay, dinner,
You're doing mommy
kids,
stuff, yeah.
and and then it's boom, 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 and then at the end of the night, okay, you start to take the hat off.
Yeah.
So I did have to learn like how to take the hat off, but I feel like some of it is like personality driven. Like I'm a very like focused, let's get it done type of
Absolutely.
And I feel like we both are, but it looks different.
I agree with that.
On us.
I agree with that.
So I guess so that's a little bit of our background, right? Like on kind of where we were.
And I think also too, just what could have helped me out with just embracing what you was giving me is that I looking back at it now is that I could have been a better active listener, right? So instead of just allowing you to speak and not really listening to you and ready to have a comeback, right? Just really just being an active listener, really just solacing the distractions in my head or solacing the this is what I'm going to say back to her, the comeback, if you will.
Right.
Just really just solacing my mind, my thoughts, and really listening and allowing your words to penetrate
Yeah. And so when you said that, that's like a really good segue.
Okay.
Because now we start to get to like y'all heard some of our problems, y'all heard the drama, but I feel like that leads us to what are some of the things that work for us to help us like actually get on the road to communication and close that gap, because there was we say a great divide. It was a great divide. And I'm just like, how in the world we done grew up together? We went in college together. We done that. I know him. Why are we like not able to click? Like, just honestly to a point where like we already told y'all, like in the last video, well, not the last video, but one of the episodes, we talked about like divorce, how we had to take it off the table.
Yes.
So we would know, like, no matter how ugly it gets, no matter like what we're gonna go through, we're going to like not bring this up anymore. We're going to just work together and work on our marriage, right?
Yes, indeed.
And so what you just said, as far as what we could have done better, what you could have done better, I agree. Same thing for me. We both wanted to be heard, so no one was listening.
Yep, absolutely.
Like that's really what it was. He had his thought and his comeback was ready. I had my thought. Listen, my comeback.
What you say?
Stay ready. Get ready. Let's go. I was ready.
And this is what you was doing too. Hold on. But I'm telling you, it's gonna help. It's gonna help the viewers. So this is what you was doing too.
Okay, what I do?
Right. But we talked about this before, so it's not gonna be. It's not. I'm not throwing you a curveball because you already know. But check it out. So I would tell you some of the things. I would tell you specifically, like, hey, I don't feel like you listening to me, or allow me to get my thoughts out, and your comeback would be so quick.
But I just said that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's what we learned from it, though. Once I communicated that to you, because you didn't get it right away, right? You didn't get it right away. Like, well, I know where you're going, and you kind of understood. You're like, no, I'm listening to you. I know where you're going with it, but you had to. You
would say it, and I already processed it.
Here's the thing. Even though you process, because you quick on your feet. Even though you process it quickly, the fact that I felt like you didn't even digest what I was telling you. You already had a comeback. So what that made me feel like, it's like you're not even hearing me out. Mm-hmm. And after a while,
get him some
coffee. I'm coffee right here. I'm ready. Let me take a sip.
A sip of coffee.
No, for real. So, but sometimes a woman's mind think a little bit faster. Doesn't mean that. So I don't need to say that.
I am wired to. I do think quick.
But you quick on your feet. Yeah.
But my thing is,
you had to slow down.
But let me just say, it wasn't that I wasn't hearing him, because I heard him. I listened to him. I just processed really quickly, like I really do. And so normally my response would be like, relevant to what was said. but it was your feeling. It was how I made you feel. It wasn't that the answer was not on topic or wrong or whatever. It was just you can't possibly have really listened to me, empathized with me, did all of that.
Process it real quick, and then you already have a rebuttal that quick.
Right. And so, but I did have.
So you can.
But let me say this. No, I really did. Gotcha. I really did. Just genuinely. Because I think some of it's dealing with my gifting. Because, if I'm using like some spiritual gifting I have, my discernment, like gift of wisdom, like there were things that I got them really quickly. But that still didn't make it right.
Correct.
It didn't make it right. Okay, correct.
No, I'm listening. I'm just
correct. Yeah. So my point is, I had to come over to your side to say, even though I hear it, I have digested it. I understand what you're saying, but the perception. I think he wore this shirt. It said perception.
Right on point.
So
prophetic.
Okay. So your perception was what was important.
Yeah.
Even if that wasn't the reality of what I was trying to do or give you, the perception is slow down. Let me feel like you heard me. You know what I'm saying? And I needed to slow down. It don't matter that I process fast. I had to stop and take a beat. And I remember scripture that I look. Can you? Oh, I know it's cold. Hold on, because we talked about. No, let them see me open your code.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then you already got it open.
Yeah. What are you
I think James. It might be James 1 or James 3. So when we just like kept getting into it, it might be James 3. Go to chapter 3.
What verse?
So the scripture that I'm looking for, y'all, and I'd have to look it up, but it's to be slow to listen. Mm-hmm. I mean, slow to anger, quick to listen.
Okay.
Right. And so that was the scripture that I just finally was like, y'all, I'm done with this. Like, because I needed to be quicker to listen, be quick to listen, but the slow to anger, because I wouldn't really get upset. 19. Is it? I think is it Proverbs? I think it's James. Well, I thought it was, but it was to be, slow to anger and quick to listen. And so that was the scripture. That was this piece that when finally I was like, I'm just done, because I think we both wanted the same thing. I wanted to be heard just as much as he wanted to be heard. But then I was feeling like, man, why am I having to make the change? And I think that that's what happens in a lot of marriages and relationships. Both people want the other person to change first. And I just felt like at this moment, it's not worth it for me to, be so quick to respond. Because I would feel like you was doing the same thing sometimes. Like, that's how I felt. Or he'll cut me off while we talking. Now we have an ebb and flow or whatever. Like if he starts talking when I'm talking,
hey, so yeah, you was right. It's James 1:19.
Oh, 1:19.
Yeah, my dear brother and sister, take notice of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak. I'm reading from NIV. Mm-hmm. James 1:19. Slow to speak and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires.
Yes, and so this was my scripture. This was because I knew like, okay, like from the hip, boop, boop, from the hip, boop, I'm ready.
Right from the hip.
And so I said, okay, I'm going to I'm a conquer this. I'm a conquer this, because this is a hurdle in like my marriage, and I'm just whatever. I'm done with it. Like, because I wanted from him what he wanted from me, and he wanted from me and I just was like, you know what? It's just not worth it. And so I just ended up, that was a scripture that I meditated on, and I would get up, I'll read it every day. So so it came a point where he'd be like, what you think? And I'd be like, oh, no, I'm good. Yeah. Like, I didn't have any, like, oh, you trying to be funny. I'm like, listen, can't win for losing. That's how I was feeling. Yeah. But it was new. It was new because he was used to me having, something to say. And I just decided, no, I'm not going to always have something, to say back. Yeah. And then a wise man once said for women, like, to make us slow down, because I mean, clearly we're ready. Mm-hmm. take a sip of water, not a sip. Fill your mouth with water. It's like when it's your turn to speak, your mouth already. We already got water, and don't swallow the water. Just hold it. Hold it. I really did do this, and one time we were driving. He was looking at me like, "What you doing?" I didn't tell him what I was doing, but it really did work. It helped me. Like, but I needed to slow down because that was affecting how we communicated, and in a sense, it made you feel like I was trying to be the head and that I wasn't, letting you lead. And so I felt like that was a piece of the communication where I didn't want to be this cross wife, right? I didn't want you to feel like, okay, I'm nagging. I just wanted to be understood. I wanted to be heard. But I feel like my desire for that really just pushed me to keep trying to get you like, listen, no, just hear me out. Like, what I'm saying is good. Like, hear me, hear me. He's like, I heard you, but you're not hearing me. So we kind of just, kept going back and forth. Yeah. But I feel like that helped me. I transitioned. And so
I think so. Yeah, I think no, I agree. I agree with everything you said. I think it, when I realized what you was doing, I started to appreciate like, oh, okay. Because at first I didn't know because you didn't communicate like, hey, so when we do have a disagreement, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna slow down. You may see me drink. Like you didn't even say all that. You just did it. So it took me all like, okay, what she's doing. I was used to you coming back quick and.
And did you think I was trying to be?
You was just maybe the first couple times. I'm gonna be honest.
What word? What like vindictive? Did you feel like okay, she's trying to be funny? Like so now she'll have nothing to say.
I felt like you was saucy a little bit.
But what made you feel like I was saucy if my demeanor wasn't saucy?
I don't. You know what? I don't even think it was so much like how you were. It's just the fact that I just felt like I was used to you being a certain way.
Okay.
And you just kind of flip mode, you know what I mean? And you didn't give me what I thought you was going to give me. Okay. And when you did something different, I wasn't ready to respond to that. It's like, okay, what's going on here?
Okay.
And once I finally caught on, like, okay, and I think maybe you had to communicate, like, no, I'm trying to do something new. I want to make sure I hear you out before I respond. So I want you to finish your thought. So once you communicated it was like, oh, okay, like, kind of thought to myself, okay, I appreciate that. And I think from that point on, we really start to communicate a little bit more effective.
Yeah.
Also, I think really that kind of we turned the corner in our communication. So I mean, we still had some disagreements here and there, but when we did have the disagreements, we was able to really hear each other out. In addition to that, me just working on being an active listener, really just solacing my inner thoughts and really listening to my wife and seeing where she's coming from. Because you remember we had that situation where you would tell me something and I would go right into solution mode. You know what I mean? And fellas, y'all know what I'm talking about. When the wifey, she expressed something and she has the issue, I'm going straight into like solution mode. How can we fix it? Okay, moving forward, this is what we're going to do. A, B, C. And I had to learn, right? Right. This is being an active listener. This is understanding your communication style. And here's the thing. Sometimes you needed solutions. Like, hey, what you
did I need the solution?
No. Sometimes, but sometimes you just needed to be heard.
But did I need the solution from you, or did I need to be
heard? I think both.
But I usually have my own like.
No. So sometimes you use both. Sometimes you need a solution. So being in a marriage, right? We ping off each other, right? So, and sometimes, I'm not saying a lot of times, but sometimes you need it like, hey, what are your thoughts? I mean, not even so much like, hey, I don't know what to do. Can you not like a damsel in distress?
It's more emotional. Like you wanted me to move past, like okay, let's just go to solution when like maybe I wanted to feel that emotion, I wanted to be upset, or I wanted to have a cry, or you know what I'm saying. And so your thing is, well, what's the solution? I'm like, I don't really need a solution. I just.
Oh yeah, I see
you know what I'm saying? Yes, like I just want to like be in this moment and you be in it with me versus solving it because I don't really feel like it needs a solve. I think that was probably a point where I had gotten to where it was like I felt like you're not paying attention. Like, are you hearing me? You know what I'm saying? I think it was
another aspect.
It was more of my emotional state at that time.
That was another aspect that I, because that's something I had to work on as well.
So that's a good. So how do you? What advice would you give to like the fellas out there for when like the girlfriend, the wife, whatever, we're fiance, we're emotional and we need, you know what I'm saying? Like we need that piece of you that's kind of hard to tap into, right? Because that's not natural for a man just to tap into the emotions.
Right.
So like what advice, like what do you feel shifted you to where you started to be able to receive me better in that way when I needed you more from an emotional standpoint?
I think the first step is to be able to recognize when you need it. I think for me, that's I mean, as simple as that sounds.
Mm-hmm.
At first it was hard for me to recognize. Oh, okay, so this is a time when you needed me to bring you in, hug you, kiss you, babe, it's gonna be okay, right? You needed that emotional comfort, and sometimes it just went right over my head. I completely missed it, right? And I failed you in that aspect in that moment, and even sometimes when you communicate, sometimes it was just hard for me emotionally to connect because men sometimes we so logical. I'm thinking of the steps. How do we fix this?
Right.
And my mind is fixated on how do we fix it versus you want me to emotionally comfort you. I'm down the street like how do we fix this?
I need a hug and he got a hammer.
No. So it's like how do I still merge the two, but still make sure that I take care of my wife first, and when the time is right, then we can go into logistics in terms of fixing the issue.
Here you go. Logistics.
We go to
logistics.
This is what we do. So when the wife is good emotionally, we hug, kiss, babe, it's gonna be okay. I think we're boom. Like, all right, so what we're gonna do?
But let me tell you what I feel you did.
I think
this was something else that you didn't say that I feel you did.
Okay, come on, give me some credit. Credit, right? You giving me credit?
I'm giving him credit. Did he give me any credit yet?
I think I did. Yeah,
I was just checking. Yeah. Drop it in the comments. Drop it in the comments if he gave me credit. Sure. He might have. So what I think that helped us, I think you start to ask me. Okay. Like,
is this like if this is emotional? Like
not if it's emotional, but you would kind of check with me on if I needed a solution. Like if I needed it worked out, like we talked about like you need and I'm like, no, like I'm good. Like I feel like we talked about that. But let me also say this, y'all. So even though we're looking for like our spouses to make adjustments to receive us emotionally, I had to grow up some in the way of not being so emotional. Like I had to just I could honestly if it was traumatic because it's like I can't cry because I grew up in a house full of boys and my dad so it was
how many brothers?
You already told them I have 4 brothers.
Okay.
So it wasn't tears didn't get you far. People would think I was spoiled, but actually I wasn't. It was very like I ain't spoiled, Right. But you would think like you the only girl, you spoiled. I didn't grow up like that, which honestly is good because I feel like it's helped me in life. But
I would say absolutely.
Yeah, and so I had to learn how to like manage my emotions a little bit differently. And so when I would come to my husband, like sometimes if it's not working, then I start crying. Y'all know we'll drop a tear. We might drop that tear. It might not that we're trying to manipulate the situation, but it's like we're trying to see, do you care about me? I'm crying right now, so now you're not gonna fuss. You're gonna love on me, right? But if you already upset, it was hard for him to like shift in and out. Yes. And so I eventually got to a place where like I wasn't emotional. I got my emotions together before I approached him, especially if it's something that I wanted him to hear me on. I'm like, I'm not coming in here crying. We just gotta, like really like talk. Why are you looking like that?
Because I'm thinking back of those times. Oh, so But here's a good thing: we can sit back and laugh about it now because it wasn't laughable when we was going through
Did
it.
y'all see that face?
Oh man, because
What was that?
I'm sitting back. I'm going back into
all I
the.
see is your cheeks.
I'm
It's
going
like
back
the
into the.
that look.
Yeah, it
Come
was.
forward,
Yeah,
say forward.
yeah.
Cause like
But
then
we
when
have
I would
grown.
get
We have definitely
when
grown from
listen then now I'm like really like crying, I blow it up and like you just like why you
But sometimes, look, check it out, fellas. Sometimes you just have to ask your wife, hey, especially if she's just like, hey, you always going into solution mode. And most men, that's like we're protectors. It's
yeah.
innate in us. It's just by nature we're gonna go, how do I fix this problem? Because this is your wife, this is your queen, this is your everything, this is your best friend, this is your partner. So if you come to me an issue, right? It's a red alert. Like all hands on deck. What's the problem? Let's go. How
Okay.
do I fix it?
Slow
Right?
down.
So
Yes,
it was
slowly.
hard for me to connect to the emotional piece to it. So
Mhm.
sometimes I just had to, for me, I just had to ask like, hey, is this something where you need to find a solution? Or is it something, babe, you just need to you need to vent, or you just, and she would tell me, no, this is, I just need you to hear me out. All right, cool, I'm listening. Or you
Mhm.
just like, or you sometimes you would tell them like, no, I need to figure out like, what do you think about this? And
Mhm.
sometimes like you said earlier that you probably will already have a solution. Sometimes you just want to feed, hey, what are your thoughts on this? Like I'm not so much asking for a solution like I don't know what to do. It's just like, hey, like I'm thinking about going this route. What are your thoughts on it?
Or how do you? And I think the biggest thing too that I needed just to know, like that I wasn't thinking wrong in a situation, or like if there was a falling out or something with like a friend, or
Yeah,
like
yeah, for
am
sure.
I looking at this right? Like, am I seeing this right? Because like I care a lot about people. I've always like cared a lot about people. Who, if I call you my friend, I call you my
Yeah,
sister,
for
and I'm like,
sure,
here's the
for
situation. Boom,
sure.
boom, boom, boom. And I needed comfort in that way because like the way that I am is I'm gonna do my part, and that's where like you would come in because he a little more.
Um,
I don't want to say cutthroat, but like
eh,
not when I say cutthroat, this is what I mean. You're
straightforward.
not gonna
Just
fester. I'm straightforward too, though. I think it's more of you're not gonna. You didn't fester on situations. If something happened, somebody did like you'd be like, oh,
yeah,
hey, it just
yeah.
kind of is what it is, and you're not gonna lose sleep over it. At that season in my life, I lost a lot of sleep. If something happened or a disagreement happened, because I didn't often have disagreements with people who I cared about. So if something would happen, then I'm like,
Yeah.
and you like, babe, it ain't that big a deal, And I'm just like, but it is a big deal.
Mhm.
Now today, like, not so much.
Yeah, but
But
we have grown though. Like we have, I would say that I've grown to understand and show a little bit more empathy. Um, Try to handle situations. I don't always do it. I'm still a work in progress in this, but
I
but
feel like,
what I'm about to say is
okay,
dealing with situations and
yeah.
dealing with situations with love, because
Oh, yeah.
sometimes people don't know if they offended you or not, right? Sometimes, uh, just people do certain things, right, and they have their own
Mhm.
agenda, and they may not know. So with everything, you want to seek to get understanding, but also too, you want to make sure you handle situations with love and empathy. And even with that in friendship, but I also had to understand empathy dealing with us as well, and
Yes.
understanding how to put
Yes.
myself in your
Hmm.
shoes. That how is she viewing this situation, or uh, man, if I was on the other side of how I said that, how would that make me feel? Like,
Hmm.
ugh, you know what I mean? So understanding
Yeah.
that as well, like the empathy piece to it is huge in a relationship, because sometimes how you say it, right? You're not on the other end receiving it, but if you can kind of get outside yourself and put yourself in your wife's shoes, or put yourself in your husband's shoes, because sometimes the wife can kind of be, you know, if you will, talking out the side of her neck sometimes, right? Or be disrespectful to her husband, because it can work on both sides. And sometimes, the wife need to have empathy in terms of how she talks to her husband, because it
Yeah.
works
But
both ways.
I don't even think it's empathy. I think it's respect. Like that's
You don't
why
think it's done?
Well, I think for a woman is more about
Oh, okay. I
respect.
got you.
It's like
Got you.
the woman. That's why the Lord, the Bible says for us to respect our husbands and for our husbands to love us. And so that's like this ongoing battle. Like we want to be in charge. We want to you know, not that we're trying to run the household, but it's just, like sometimes that's why I feel like we struggle with that, and that independence that like I already have it figured out. I already like we just moving forward. And so, but go ahead.
I was about to say that's another topic we can talk about.
We need to remember our topics.
Why is it hard for your wife to submit? We can talk about that later.
Well, because I already got an answer.
Yeah, right. But why?
I got one.
And some people may have women may have a hard time using the word submit, but
we shouldn't.
Sometimes
it shouldn't be hard.
There's a reason why maybe your wife may not all the way respect the marriage or respect you.
So drop it in the comments if y'all feel like this is like a topic that you want us to talk about, like,
or maybe you just have a problem. You have a problem submitting to your husband, and there's reasons why.
Put it in there. Put it in there,
and we're gonna, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we're gonna circle back and talk about it.
Yeah.
So I think all in all, when it comes to this great divide of communication, it's just like it's like a game. Like we talk about football. Football is a game of inches, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
come on. Let's go.
It's a game of inches. And so you just have to continue. It's like I inched in some, he inched it, like it's inches. And sometimes as the ball is moving, you're moving forward, you don't even realize that you're moving. You feel like you're not making any progress. Because when you think about like inches, it's almost to where you can't tell. That's why they're measuring. That's why they have to measure, like, okay, did they make it or not? Did they make the first down or whatever? Like they're having to measure it because it's so small that you can feel like you're not making progress. And so we definitely want to encourage you all to know like the inches matter, right? Like you're making progress as long as you're putting the effort, as long as you move your ego, move your pride, and y'all both you're going to be working on different things. I was working on something completely different from him, and so, but both of you have to come together. And because if you cannot communicate, you will forever be divided. And when you're divided, the question is, will you make it? And we want, if you're following us, we want to help marriages like thrive. Okay. We want you thriving.
Not just make it, but thrive.
Yeah. And enjoy marriage because I mean, if we be honest, we didn't enjoy like the beginning of like we had like
no, we didn't.
We would say this is not what marriage is supposed to be like.
Yeah. I think we said that to you.
I think you might have told me first.
I may have. And
I was like,
marriage is supposed to look like this.
But let me tell y'all, I didn't get offended. I agree. I'm like, I agree. But at the end of the, we were on the same page, but we were like this.
Right.
Point at me, babe.
Right.
Do it. Do it. Okay, y'all. Well, listen.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you learned some things.
We hope y'all got a few laughs at us. Because I know we will laugh at ourselves. So it's been good.
Yes. Drop some comments, guys. If you have any suggestions on the next episode, even if you have any feedback on this episode, hopefully you guys got some laugh, like the wife you said, and you guys took some notes. Hopefully help you guys in your marriage as you guys progress to a thriving marriage. So definitely.
Yeah, like we're progressing together. So listen, y'all already know what to do. Don't get off of here without liking, subscribing, sharing. If you have not already, and you've been tuning in, but you haven't turned on your notification bell, please turn on that notification bell and make sure that you get an update every time we drop a new episode. You'll see us weekly, okay? We're going to be coming on here weekly, giving you content, talking about things that is going to help your marriage thrive. This is a Christian channel. We can speak to everyone. We want everyone to be invited because our goal is for marriages to just flourish.
Come on.
So make sure y'all, like it. Don't get off here and not subscribe, okay? So we thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Love and Marriage Unfiltered with the Straws.
Let's go.
Listen, we sure hope y'all have been blessed. We've been blessed, and we thank y'all for tuning in. Yeah, we'll see y'all next time.
Peace.